Hello, BookTube from the Martian icescape that is Boston. uh, I got a catalog in the mail the other day, a book catalog. I've mentioned on this channel before how much I love getting book catalogs in the mail, whether it's from publishers or, in this case, Publishing Consortium. Consortium Books sent me their hefty catalog. And there were a couple of things in here. Just a quick video before I go back to huddling underneath covers. But there were a few things in here that I wanted to show you. It's this particular catalog brings together a large number of smaller presses with full-color pictures of the books and descriptions. It's a really nice job that they do. And you just have to page through it and find out what's going to interest you. And the first thing is this. Let me see if you can see that. That is Writing Madness by Patrick McGrath. It's a 600-page collection of just an enormous amount of Patrick McGrath's writings. It's a massive collection of short fiction, novellas, and essays by Patrick McGrath with a new introduction by Joyce Carol Oates. And it's illustrated throughout. It features the complete text of McGrath's collection Blood and Water and 3 novellas of Ghost Town, 6 previously unconnected short stories, 7 essays, and over 20 of McGrath's insightful introductions and book reviews. That sounds just fantastic, so I'm very interested to read that. And then on the same page, from the same publisher, it was something that I mentioned the other day, I think in a comment that I left on a video by Richardson Reads. In fact, I'm sure that it was. He was talking about reading Fritz Leiber, the Farford and Gray Mouser series. And those of you who might not know what that is, Fritz Leiber was he's a classic science fiction fantasy author who's now unknown. And one of the gripes that I have with science fiction fantasy is that a lot of the progenitors of the genre are now unknown because science fiction reprints are virtually non-existent. It does a worse job than almost any other genre of allowing newcomers to know the wealth that precedes what they're looking at on the bookshelves of their retail bookstore. You look at those shelves and you think this genre has lots of variety but no depth whatsoever. The oldest thing here, aside from Tolkien, is 20 years old, maybe 30 years old, but nothing other than that. No hint whatsoever of the variety. And it was bothering me because Mark was holding up on his video in Richardson Reads. In fact, I'll try and remember to leave a link to it down below. He held up on camera one of these new, there's some reprint house that is reprinting the Farford and Gray Mouser books, and doing, I think Mark's word was utilitarian, very diplomatic of him. They're ugly. They're gross. They're poorly bound. They're poorly made. It's poor paper, and there's no cover design. It's just words. It's a shabby treatment for somebody who brought enjoyment to hundreds of thousands of readers who went on to become the foremost figures in the genre today. And my comment on his video was, gee, I wish somebody would do a really nice reprint of the Farford and Gray Mouser books, a reprint series that is, that reflects how much they deserve. It's been done before. The Black Company series by Glenn Cook got a fantastically beautiful reprint series just about, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It does happen. And it turns out that it has happened with Fritz Leiber, and I just didn't know about it. This is Centipede Press, and this is Swords Against Death. Look at that. It's got a new introduction, and it's illustrated throughout by Dominic Saponaro, and this is the second volume. So they've done 2 so far that are the kind of reprint treatment that Fritz Leiber deserves. The only problem that I can see here is that it looks like the hardcovers are $75 each, which effectively means you're not printing them at all. It effectively means this is as much as you're doing. As far as readership goes, that's as much as you're doing. Because you put a 50-year-old book of sword and sorcery fantasy in a hardcover on bookstore shelves in 2017, and you slap a $75 price tag on it, literally no one is going to buy it, except maybe someone who already knows exactly what it is and is going to buy it because they've always wanted a great edition. Because the Farford and Grey Mouser books, by far the most common thing that you're going to find, unless you're lucky enough to stumble upon the old Science Fiction Book Club editions, the hardcover collections, unless you do that, the editions you are far most likely to find are the little, was it Del Rey paperbacks, that the covers are brittle and falling apart now, the pages are falling to dust, the bindings certainly don't hold up, it's almost impossible to read them. So if you have encountered them in the past and you love these books, as you will, take my word for it, if you read them, you will love them, and you find a $75 hardcover that's illustrated throughout with new artwork, you'll probably get it, but nobody else will. So I'll have to contact the people at the press and see what story is there. And then another one from Coffeehouse Press. It looks like this is a trade paperback of a book that I heard a lot about in 2017 but never read. And it's by Gabe Habash, and it's Stephen, Florida. It's coming out in a trade paperback about a North Dakota wrestler that apparently has well, I can't tell much about it from this entry, but I remember it getting a lot of intelligent praise on BookTube and elsewhere. So I want to give it a try. Then another one from Myriad Editions, I think, it's a novel by Nicholas Royal, and it's called An English Guide to Bird Watching. A little bit of glare there. A page-turning novel about literary theft, adultery, and ambition, interwoven with a moving investigation into our relationship with birds. Which sounds like it could be fun. And one of the things I like about the Consortium catalog is that they bring to my attention things I might not have seen otherwise. Might not know about. If you don't know about it, you can't request it. If you can't request it, you can't get it. If you can't get it, you can't review it. So I'm glad to go through here. It's like 8,000 books in this thing. Another one is a gardening book. I know there are a couple of gardeners who watch this channel. I myself really wish that I had any skill at gardening. I don't. It doesn't matter right now because the ground is not only frozen and covered with snow, but also cracked and denaturized, because it's not just that it's cold. It's not just that the ground has frozen. It's 20 below zero, so the ground is now dead. It's not going to become fertile even when there's spring. But I'm told that there are pockets of the country in the Southwest where it is above 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't remember what that's like anymore. It's been 2 solid weeks of being absolutely giblet freezingly cold in Boston. According to the weather forecast, we have one more day where the temperature does not reach double digits Fahrenheit at the height of the day. And then after that, according to the forecast, the temperatures go back to normal. 30s, low 40s, mid 40s, high 40s. And the mounds of frozen spiked ice outside will all disappear, and the ground will reappear. If the temperatures are in the mid 40s, dog walks will be possible. I don't believe it myself. I don't remember a time when Frida and I were not living in this room. But anyway, before I went on the rant, the gardening book this time around is called The Ever Curious Gardener by Lee Reich. Kind of a pretty thing. You can't tell, but it's a magnifying glass magnifying a blossom that has a bug inside it. And it's let's see here. Unleash your inner geek and let this irreverent romp through the wonders of the garden yield practical results. I wouldn't be reading it for the practical results. I would be reading it because it sounds like a lot of energy was put into making it interesting to non-gardeners. Curious why caressing your cucumber plants will help them bear more fruit? Oh, time was. That sentence alone would have had enough to put it on the Catholic Index of banned books. Or why you should grow oranges from seed even though the fruit is inedible. Or why trees need to sleep and how you can help them. Now tell me, whether you're a gardener or not, doesn't that make you want to read the book? I'll be getting in touch with that publisher as well, see what they have to tell me. And then this one will appeal to all of you. Look at this. The Art of Reading. It's by Damon Young, and it's called A Beautiful Celebratory Tribute to the Powers of One of the Most Undervalued Skills. What you're doing right now is, cosmically speaking, against the odds. As young children, we are taught to read, but soon go on to forget just how miraculous a process it is. This turning of scratches and dots into understanding, unease, and inspiration. Perhaps we need to stop and remember, stop and learn, stop again, okay, and learn again how to read better. Oh, okay. Maybe somewhere along the line there'll be something about learning to write better. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The Art of Reading is just the kind of book I love to read, and I can't wait to do it. It looks like it's an anthology of some kind. Oh no, it's by Damon Young, and I think that's it in terms of the stuff that I really wanted to talk to you about. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other, abstruse stuff, but those things are from the, collected in the consortium catalog, so you will probably see them on this channel when I get a good look at them. But anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video for now to show you that and talk about those things a little, and I'll be back soon. Thank you, BookTube.